For nearly 5 years, Oprah Winfrey stayed completely silent about that explosive interview with Meghan Markle. She let the public argue about it. She let the headlines spread. And she never once stepped in to explain what really happened behind the scenes. But now, something has changed. During a casual podcast appearance, Oprah made one strange comment that instantly set the internet on fire. It was quick, almost effortless. But people noticed. And suddenly, everyone started asking the same question. Has Oprah quietly distanced herself from Meghan for years? It all happened during a podcast with Kelly Ripa in the summer of 2025. The conversation was light, easy, random. Then someone jokingly asked Oprah what she would do if a friend gifted her baby chickens. Oprah laughed and said she would take them straight to the Sussexes. But the way she said their name sounded oddly sarcastic, almost like a joke aimed directly at them. The room burst into laughter. And that moment spread online within hours. Now think about this for a second. Oprah is one of the most experienced communicators on the planet. She knows exactly how her words sound before they leave her mouth. Nothing about her delivery felt accidental. So when she casually turned Harry and Meghan into a punchline, royal watchers immediately started connecting dots. But here's where things get interesting. That podcast moment was not the beginning of the distance. It may have simply been the first time the public noticed it. Earlier that same year, Meghan launched her lifestyle brand, As Ever. For someone Oprah once publicly supported in front of more than 60 million viewers, the silence was deafening. No Instagram post.
No congratulations.
No supportive interview. Nothing. Then came Meghan's birthday celebration. Oprah was nowhere in sight. Not in photos. Not in videos. Not even mentioned by guests. And for two women once rumored to be incredibly close in Montecito, that absence spoke louder than words ever could. Then Oprah appeared on another podcast and listed the people closest to her. Gayle King. Maria Shriver. Bob Greene. Meghan's name never came up once. In Hollywood, that kind of omission is rarely accidental. People started wondering if something serious happened behind closed doors. Something cold. Something final. And once those questions started spreading, people went all the way back to the interview that changed everything. March 7, 2021. More than 60 million people watched Oprah sit across from Meghan and Harry in that famous California garden. The interview was presented as the truth finally coming out. Meghan made one shocking claim after another. She said someone in the royal family had concerns about how dark Archie's skin might be. She claimed the institution ignored her cries for mental health help. She said Kate Middleton made her cry, not the other way around. But the biggest moment came near the end. Meghan confidently claimed she and Harry had secretly married 3 days before their royal wedding. Just the two of them. The Archbishop of Canterbury. A private ceremony in the backyard. She described the massive Windsor Castle wedding as more of a public performance than the real thing. The palace stayed silent for 2 days. Then came a short statement from Buckingham Palace. Just 61 words. But buried inside it were 5 words people still talk about years later. Some recollections may vary. Quiet. Controlled. Devastating. It was the royal family's way of saying they did not fully accept Meghan's version of events. But here's the part nobody expected. Within days, cracks in the interview started appearing everywhere. The Archbishop of Canterbury himself stepped forward and said the legal wedding happened publicly at Windsor Castle on Saturday. He explained that signing a false marriage document would have been a criminal offense. Suddenly, one of the interview's biggest emotional moments began collapsing in real time. Then people revisited Meghan's story about Queen Elizabeth covering her legs with a blanket during an engagement. It sounded warm and personal. But footage from the event appeared to show the Queen placing the blanket only over herself while Meghan sat nearby untouched. Small detail. Huge reaction. And that wasn't all. Reporters examined the dramatic headline montage shown during the interview. Some articles were not even British. One headline was published long after Harry and Meghan had already left royal life. Critics claimed the montage exaggerated the narrative being presented. Then came the chicken coop scene. Remember the cute handmade sign reading Archie's chickens? Reports later claimed the coop had been freshly built just before filming began. That's when public opinion started shifting. The couple accused the palace of carefully crafting narratives, yet critics argued they were doing the same thing themselves. And just when things could not get more complicated, Another voice from Meghan's past suddenly reappeared. A voice people had ignored for years. Long before the Oprah interview, Meghan's childhood friend Nanaki Pretty had already warned the public about her. The two had been inseparable since childhood. Nanaki even served as maid of honor at Meghan's first wedding. So when journalists approached her after Meghan got engaged to Prince Harry, they expected sweet memories. Instead, they got a warning. Nanaki claimed Meghan had always been fascinated with the royal family. She said Meghan owned books about Princess Diana and watched royal wedding tapes repeatedly as a teenager. Then came the line that exploded online. Meghan wants to be Princess Diana 2.0. According to Nanaki, Meghan always got what she wanted, and Harry had fallen completely under her spell. But it went even deeper. Nanaki described what she called Meghan's shutdown mechanism. She claimed Meghan could cut people out of her life instantly, with no explanation and no second chances. And once she made that decision, there was no coming back. Suddenly, people started looking back at the Oprah friendship through an entirely different lens. Then internet users uncovered old blog posts from Meghan's former lifestyle website. Years before meeting Harry, Meghan had openly written about Kate Middleton and royal weddings. That contradicted the image she later presented during the interview, where she claimed she knew very little about royal life beforehand. And once those contradictions gained traction, stories from palace staff began surfacing too. One of the biggest moments came from an internal email written by Jason North, a former communications secretary for Harry and Meghan. The message described concerns about alleged bullying inside the royal household. According to the email, staff members had been pushed out and left emotionally shaken. Buckingham Palace launched an investigation but never released the findings publicly. Then things followed the couple to California. Reports from former employees painted an ugly picture behind the scenes. Some described a stressful work environment. Others claimed staff turnover became constant. Online gossip even gave former employees a nickname, the Sussex Survivors Club. And then came a story that spread quietly through Hollywood circles. An employee allegedly arrived late because his pregnant wife was seriously ill. According to the rumor, Meghan responded by removing him from work for months without pay. The story was never fully confirmed publicly, but insiders claimed it deeply affected how executives viewed future business deals with the couple. But the real turning point was still coming. When Harry and Meghan first arrived in California, companies lined up to work with them. Spotify reportedly signed a deal worth around $20 million. Netflix reportedly offered a deal valued near $100 million. The couple promised documentaries, podcasts, and a new media empire built around their story. Then reality hit. Meghan's Spotify podcast ended after only a small number of episodes. Soon after, Spotify executive Bill Simmons publicly called Harry and Meghan grifters during his own podcast. That clip spread everywhere. Then another Hollywood executive bluntly stated Meghan was not a strong audio talent. Suddenly, major industry figures were openly criticizing the couple instead of protecting them. Netflix reportedly became frustrated too. Executives allegedly learned about the Oprah interview through the news instead of directly from Harry and Meghan themselves. By 2025, reports suggested the massive partnership had quietly been downgraded into something far less important. And outside Hollywood, public opinion kept turning colder. South Park mocked them mercilessly. Award shows joked about them getting paid millions for doing almost nothing. Slowly, the image they worked so hard to build started cracking apart. But then came the moment that may have damaged things more than anything before it. In 2026, Harry and Meghan visited Australia during what was described as a private humanitarian trip. One stop included Bondi Beach, where survivors of a deadly terror attack gathered for remembrance. Meghan sat with grieving families.
Càmeres capturat emocional moments.
It looked deeply personal. Then something shocking happened. Within minutes of Meghan leaving the beach, websites began selling every piece of clothing she wore that day. The shirt, the jeans, the sunglasses, the bag, everything linked directly to a shopping platform called One Off. Reports claimed Meghan held a financial interest in the company and earned commissions from purchases. The backlash exploded almost instantly. Critics accused the couple of monetising tragedy and turning royal influence into personal profit. The listings were quietly edited after outrage spread online, and one updated image reportedly cropped Harry completely out of frame. And honestly, that single image may say more than words ever could. Harry left behind his royal life, his country, and much of his family for this new future. Yet years later, he found himself standing beside a memorial service while the public watched his image slowly disappear from the brand built around him. What began in Oprah's garden as a story meant to reshape the monarchy ended up reshaping Harry and Meghan's own public image instead. And now people keep coming back to the same question. Did Oprah eventually realize something the rest of the world only figured out later? Or did she know all along and simply choose silence until now?